How you doing, everybody? Tim here from the Tactical Defender, and I have the kabar Becker Campanion, aka the BK2. This is what we're going to look at today. So what I want to do is start this review by saying this. When I first saw this knife, it's been a few years now, right? I wasn't impressed, just by looks alone. I don't believe in getting a knife and then having to put a lot of money into it on aftermarket scales, aftermarket sheath, and so on. And just by looking at it, I wasn't impressed. You know, I'm a die-hard micarta fan. When I saw these scales, you know, okay, I didn't think I was gonna like it. I actually picked this up with a couple other knives from someone in a trade roughly a year ago. And I've used this, I don't know how many times since then, but I want to tell you that I am very pleasantly surprised. It is, no doubt, I mean, it is a it's a beast of a blade. 5.5 inches, it's not very long, not a big deal. But I will tell you that the scales are a lot more comfortable than what I thought they would be. And we'll get some close-up video in a minute, but I mean, there is a palm swell in the middle. I have big hands. It fits my hand really well, and it grips there. It grips fantastic. Does have quite the forehead or nose knocker on the tip there. If you ever had to, hopefully you don't have to. I mean, that's gonna hurt. That would hurt. It is a very stout blade at 1/4 inch thick, 5.5 inches long. It's got everything that I like. It's got the drop point blade. It is also a it's not serrated. It's just got a regular plain blade. I really like that. The handles, I apologize. The handles are considerably better than what I thought. The sheath as well, still not 100% sold on the sheath, but I am definitely happier with the sheath than what I thought I would be. I've had this almost a year, roughly a year. I've been using it off and on. Picked it up in a trade. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's put it to use. All right, right on a knot there. I'm going to clean this up a little bit to get to the really hard stuff there. Right on this knot. All right. Yeah, that's into some hard wood. Okay, ready? Straight. I'm going to try to get it into this knot. Doesn't want to go in there. It's straight. Now, all I've done is strop this every time I've used it. Strop it and oil it. It has been sharpened more times than I know by the previous owner, so I figured I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to strop, and I mean, I've been really pleasantly pleased with how it holds an edge. Not that I can stay on this log. I mean, it really is a great blade. It's good for hiking, good for a great camp knife. Put it on your belt. It's got a little bit of weight to it. But it really is pleasant to use. It really is. Woohoo! Got some dirt bikes going by, so I am seriously, I'm whacking this thing. Still good. Now, would I do this on a normal, right, with a normal knife? Some would say, well, you know, this is abuse. Maybe it is. Go. I'm literally moving the log. Wow. We are straight. Now, by hitting this, some of the coating has come off. It's chipping off. Not a big deal. Coating or no coating, I still oil my blades. Let's do this again. Let me tell you, if that tip was going to bend or snap, it's going to happen here right now. I am really giving this thing that tip. Yeah, we're straight. Tip is still on. I do see from whacking it, I do see some of the black coating, protective coating coming off the blade. Not a big deal, because we know the steel underneath is solid. That's a great blade. All right, so we have here the sheath and belt strap. Now, the previous owner that had this before I did a few modifications, and I'm not going to judge the blade or the sheath based on his modifications. He did add these, you know, these Ranger bands, these rubber tie, and I just left those because he had something underneath there. I just left them. So it is a you know, a molded polymer plastic sheath, a very nice one. I mean, it really is. Doesn't have a drainage hole, but it really is a nice molded sheath, and my camera isn't focusing. There we go. And Yeah, so there's really not a lot to the sheath. Like I said, I just left these on, turn it over, and it does have this backing on there that does come off. You undo the screws on this side and the backing can come off if you so choose. You could put your different options for attaching to your body or your pack, and I like that. I like options. I'm not crazy about this. He did put this on there. I don't like this. I don't like that. If you're going to have a drop leg, and this would be considered a drop leg sheath, I want something stiff, something that's not going to bend, because then this kind of flops around. He did put paracord on there. Again, I just left it. It's not a big deal to me. I left it. And he said that he broke. Something happened to what was here to hold your knife in. Not that it really needs it, because it actually does have really good lockup. Again, I just left it there. He put that on there and he really liked it. When I've been using it, I actually don't use that. Come on, focus for me. No, you're not going to focus, huh? I don't use that. And then he would put it around like that. Because when it's on your belt, you can see that it hangs out like that. I don't like that. I don't like putting that off and on. Now, see, it's got, I mean, listen to this. It's got fantastic lockup. It really does. You know, it's solid. It's not going to just fall out of there. But the problem without this, when it's on your person, it kind of does this thing. It just hangs there. That does drive me crazy. So as far as this portion of the sheath is concerned, I'm very happy with this portion of the sheath. I really haven't gotten into it, but I suppose something else could be added and modified. Not that I really like doing that. And because like I said, it does have screws. You can remove this whole backing. I don't know. I might do that. But anyway, not a bad sheath. It really isn't. But let's look at the blade itself. It is, come on, focus. And it's not going to focus for me. It is 1095 Crovan steel, right? You know I'm a big fan of 1095. The handles is a Zytel. It's plastic, more or less. They do come off. You can get micarta scales. I thought about doing that, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I'd really rather not. The person that had this before me not only had paracord around, he then had Ranger bands put on there. And the handle was really thick. He must have giant hands, because I have big hands. And he must have even big hands. But I find that, you can see you got a swell there, a palm swell. Not a bad forward finger choil. You have a rear choil there. You do have this skull smashing part of the blade, because it is obviously a full tang drop point blade. I mean, it is such, and look at that. That is a thick piece of steel for sure. Great all-around blade. It really is. You need to make tarp or tent stakes. Look, it's a heavy blade. I'm not going to lie to you. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but it's solid. I've demonstrated that on the fallen log back there. It can take a beating. And to me, that's what's important. Am I going to treat every knife that way every time I'm out and I'm in the woods or at camp or doing what I'm doing? Obviously not. But if it's going to be able to handle that, it's going to be able to handle carving a piece of wood or cutting string or paracord, or helping me build a shelter. It will be able to handle that because it can handle that, and that's why I do that. Is that necessary? Probably not, but I know that tip, that blade will stay straight, and that tip isn't going anywhere if it can handle that right there. I like it, I really do, and I am pleasantly surprised by those scales, the plastic Zytel, if you will, scales. They really, for me, are very comfortable. I feel like I have full control. It's not going anywhere. As for the sheath, and I'm serious, this portion of the sheath, I like it. It's got multiple options. I like the fact that they actually made it so you can just remove this. I don't care for that at all. I'm not a huge fan of drop sheaths, right? But if I'm going to use a drop sheath, something a little bit lower than what you normally would carry on your belt, I like something stiff, something hard. I don't want the sheath dangling around, flopping around. When I bend down, it falls forward. When I sit, it's just stick. I don't want that. And this does that. I don't care for that at all. I don't really recall what was over that before originally, but the person, again, before me added this thing, and I just don't like that. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to probably find something a little bit more stiff, a little something better for a drop-down sheath. If I could connect it to the existing sheath, this will be a keeper for me. Overall, fantastic blade. Well worth the $80, roughly $90. I looked around. I saw some for about $79, so let's call it $80, and I saw some around $90. Well worth $90 as is. The way it is, the way you get it. Links in the box below, everybody. Go check them out if you're interested. I'm going to look into getting a few more from BK Becker / Kabar, and you'll be seeing those on my channel. Thank you for watching. Be well. Stay safe. Bye.